Okay, let's start in 10 seconds.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. By the trust vested in me by Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, I officially call this meeting to order. So our theme tonight is bullish or bearish, a very timely and thought-provoking topic that taps into the world of finance, investing, and cryptocurrency. So in a world where prices fluctuates, markets react to every news headline, whether it's geopolitical or commodity related, it's important to increase not just our IQ, our EQ here in Toastmasters, but also our FQ, which is the financial quotient. So whether you're investing in stocks, cryptocurrencies, forex, commodities, or just budgeting better, financial literacy is a superpower. So, and just like in Toastmasters, we, where we invest in ourselves, learning about money is a superpower. So investment it is an investment that pays the interest. So to kick off the evening with the right mindset, let me call on Toastmaster Liz to lead us on the invocation to be followed by the Toastmaster's promise. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Liz.
Good evening, everyone. Let's bow our head and we can close our eyes and then say our prayer. Heavenly Father, as we gather today in the spirit of learning, growth, and fellowship, we seek your guidance and wisdom. Bless each speaker with clarity of thought, confidence in speech, and sincerity of heart. May our words inspire, uplift, and encourage those who listen. Let us communicate not just to be heard, but to make a difference. Grant us humility to learn from one another, patience to grow, and courage to speak with authenticity. May this meeting be a place where we build each other up, celebrate progress, and embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Above all, may our words reflect kindness, truth, and respect, bringing light to those around us. We ask for your presence in our discussions and your guidance in our journey toward becoming better communicators and leaders. Amen. Let's raise our right hands. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities.
Thank you, Toastmaster Liz. And now, to give us an introduction and orientation of what our theme tonight, which is bullish or bearish, let me call on one of our leaders in Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, the most energetic and great salesman per se, none other than our immediate past president, Toastmaster Rai De Jesus. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Rai.
Oh, thank you for that generous introduction, President Jeff. And as of the moment, my is not on its 100%. I guess it is just around 50% as of the moment. But anyway, I will try my best because really this topic and the theme for tonight is indeed a challenge for me because number one, I'm not a finance person, but I tried my best and do some research and I tried to connect how Toastmasters and our meeting for tonight will be as exciting as talking about money, finances, and some mathematics on the side. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today we are stepping in the world that's exciting, unpredictable, and as we all know, money is something that is exciting and at the same time challenging topic for most of us. And it is something that is unfamiliar to some of us. So I would like to ask our members, are you feeling bullish or are you feeling bearish tonight? Let's find out. For those who believes that this is a great time to invest, prices will rise, the future is very bright. Kindly type 1 to our chat box. If you feel you're feeling bullish, you're confident and you are optimistic that the market will be charging forward. All right? So we have many many of us are bullish. I mean, yeah, bullish. And for those who thinks that our economy and the political scenario is uncertain and you feel that you need to be a little bit cautious, kindly type number 2. For those who feel a bit more careful, skeptical, thinking about going abroad because it seems that the political situation will worsen, you feel like that. So you type 2. All right. So okay. So here is the secret. Here's the secret. Whether you're bullish or bearish, there's always opportunities. In a bull market, you grab every chance to step up. Like a Toastmasters meeting, there's another opportunity for you to speak in our meeting. So like a confident speaker, you need to captivate the room and be confident as you take the virtual stage tonight. And in a bear market, you stay thoughtful, strategic, like our prepared speaker for tonight who prepared their speech and they strategize on how they can deliver their speech tonight. Here's another question for all of you. If you have 3,600 pesos today for you to invest, where would you put it? 1, will you put it in a stock market betting on a long-term goal? 2, will you put it in cryptocurrency taking a risk for high reward? Or 3, invest in your self-development by renewing your Toastmasters membership and investing in your skills? Type 1, 2, or 3. All right, Toastmaster Rose, kindly take note of those who type 3. So it seems that Meycauayan Toastmasters Club will be meeting its goal, 20 renewals for this term, next term. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for participating in our little survey. The truth, markets will rise and it will fall, but the best investment you can make is in yourself. Just like a smart investors grow with portfolios, great speakers grow by practicing, learning, and stepping out of their comfort zone. Tonight, whether you're feeling bullish and ready to shine or bearish and observing carefully, this meeting is your chance to invest in your communication skills. Are you ready to trade hesitation for confidence? Say yes if you are ready.
Yes.
Okay, so let's divide into our bullish and bearish session and meet the role takers who will guide us through our exciting journey. First, let me introduce to you our grammarian and our word of the night monitor. Ladies and gentlemen, one of our new member, Toastmaster John Israel Centeno. Toastmaster John,
And
introduce.
on behalf of
I'm sorry.
Okay, John, I will be your language evaluator and the word master. And now, as a word master, I will be presenting you the technical term of the night or technological term of the night. Here, for the benefits of our guests, here in Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, we do word of the night, but if the theme is too technical in nature, then we use the technological term of the night. So the technological term of the night is REIT, or Real Estate Investment Trust. What is REIT? REIT is a company that owns or finances income-producing real estate across a range of property sectors. For example, in the Philippines, we have the REIT, which is the Ayala REIT, the C-REIT, which is the Citicorp REIT, the RCR, the Robinson's Land REIT, and then many REITs. Actually, 8 or 9 REITs here in the Philippines right now. So the sample sentence for this technical term is this. REITs are required by law to distribute at least 90% of their distributable income to shareholders in the form of dividends. Okay. Who among you are familiar with REITs? May I see your hands? Yes. Toastmaster Jeff, do you have a other sentence regarding REIT? Using the word or the acronym REIT, or Real Estate Investment Trust.
I plan to buy REITs instead of having a rental property.
All right. Thank you for that, Toastmaster Jeff. I hope everybody of us will use this technical term of the night. REIT, I do not know how are we going to pull this off, but let's see earlier. Anyway, that's my technical term of the night. And as a language evaluator, my role is to check whether we are observing the bullish or bearish trend in the use of language here in Meycauayan Toastmasters Club's educational meeting. When we say bullish, these are the gems or the quotable quotes that our fellow Toastmasters will utter during this meeting. And if it is bullish, these are the grammatical lapses that we will be saying unintentionally here in this meeting. So that's it for my introduction as a language evaluator and word master. I turn the control back to our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Rai.
All right. So thank you to our language evaluator, and keep in mind our technical word of the night, READ. So let's proceed with our table topics section, table topic session. And prepared speakers or speech are like the long-term investment. Table topics, for me, it's like the equivalent of day trading. It's fast-paced, unpredictable, and it requires quick decisions. Whether you're bullish or bearish in your responses, this session will help you think on your feet. Our table topics master is our market maker. Okay? And our market maker for tonight, our table topics master is our resident concert queen. And she is working to serve our community. And indeed, she will be our market maker for tonight, our table topics master. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause and let's welcome on our virtual stage, Toastmaster Chris Sibiliejo.
Thank you, TM, right? I don't know what to do with the introduction, but yes. I would like to apologize if I will not be sharing a lot of financial terms because I'm not really well versed in terms of that industry, but I'm happy that I'm here because I will be learning from all of you about not just being bullish or being bearish, but everything that might be relevant and helpful for me as I try to invest as well in the future. We don't know. Anyway, tonight I am tasked to be your table topics master, one of the exciting session for every Toastmasters meeting. And as TM Rai mentioned, table topics is the same as investment. You take risks. Why? In taking risks in table topics, you also practice your quick thinking, your quick organizing of your speeches, and as well as your impromptu speeches. So I hope that tonight everyone will take the risk to be one of our table topics speakers. So before we proceed, let me just quickly share my Jeff, can I share my screen so I can present? Sorry, I forgot to send the presentation. But yeah, there you go. All right. So for every table topic session, everyone is free to use different kinds of speech patterns. In your screen, you can see I listed in there the 5 speech patterns that normally the speakers use. So we have the prep, which is the point, reason, example, and point. This is commonly used by everyone based on my experience with the Meycauayan Toastmaster Club. And I think one of the easiest patterns that we can use when we have to deliver a table topic speech. We also have the SMG, which is a story message gain, where you can share your experience, share the message out of that experience, and what did you learn from that story or that situation that you went through. The other one is AIDA, which is attention, interest, desire, and action. So you can share a word, you can share a quick story or a gesture to gain attention from the audience, to gain their interest, and proceed with the desire, and of course end it with a call to action. We also have a pros and cons. I think this speech pattern is also a good one to use, especially now with our topic, especially with the theme, if you are bullish or bearish, right? And then the last one is past, present, and future. You can simply use a comparison between how our economy was in the past, during this present time, and in the coming future. And of course, every table topic speeches, the speakers are given 1 to 2 minutes to deliver their speech. So our timer will flash uh, color or in his screen. So that's Jeff. Either, I don't know if it's a thing or a background, but you will see that once it turns green, it will be 1 minute, and then yellow for 1 minute and 30 minutes, and then for red, if you see that color, you have to wrap your speech, and then that's the mark to end your speech. All right. Are you now excited to join and take a risk and invest yourself in developing your impromptu speeches? Everyone's silent. But anyway, let's proceed. So for the first one, let me read it. Stocks and cryptocurrencies are about making decisions based on risk. If you're not prepared to lose, then you're not prepared to win. Let me just check the participants list so I can see. Is there anyone who would like to volunteer before I call for someone? Okay. Maybe this is a good, I would like to hear from PM Oscar if he's here.
I'm here.
Yeah, there you go, TM Oscar. I hope you're up into a challenge. So let me read it again for you. Stocks and cryptocurrencies are about making decisions based on risk. If you're not prepared to lose, then you're not prepared to win. Over to you, TM Oscar.
Thank you so much. Life in general is a gamble. It's full of risk. Whether you're just entering your business or putting up a business or in a career or trying to make a family, everything is a gamble and a risk. And investing your life in something that is risky or gambling, you take the challenges as it is. It's a win-win situation. For me, I sometimes gamble a little bit and I lose some money at the casino, but I don't bet everything that I have. It's something that keeps your mind away from the challenges of life, but it does not define you. But in life, you have to make a lot of crossroad decisions. At the crossroads, you need to make sure that you are heading into the right path in life. And risk will always be there. There will be wolves along the way. There will be evil plans along the way, but the risks are worth it when you take the challenge. If you don't make a step towards life and not making any risk at all, then your chances of winning is likewise diminished. But for those who'd like to play safe in life, they just keep life and stride through life without any risk or gamble, and you will pursue your life the same way. But as I said at the beginning, risk is a gamble and life is a gamble. And sometimes we have to take that challenge in life. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, TM Oscar. I know it's early in the morning on your side, if I'm right.
Yes.
If I'm right, but you're still up for a challenge, and thank you for taking that risk. All right. For the second one, this is from Warren Buffett. The more you learn, the more you earn. So just to give you a background, I've searched who is Warren Buffett. So Warren Buffett is an American investor and philanthropist who currently serves as the chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. As a result of his investment success, Buffett is one of the best known investors in the world. So yeah, the more you learn, the more you earn. Okay, seems like no one's raising their hand, but I'd like to see if Toastmaster Alan is up for a challenge as well for this evening.
Yes, indeed. Toastmaster Chris. Okay. I agree. The more you learn, the more you earn. When I was younger, I used to work I've worked in different settings. I used to fry burgers at McDonald's. At one time, I sold telephone lines at Buy and Tell. And at another time, I also sold or dealt with doctors as a medical representative. That was before I decided to enroll in law school about 16 years ago. And I realized from that experience that indeed there is a difference in your capacity to earn financially when you have a limited academic background, or not even just referring to school, but your general knowledge or specific knowledge about certain ways where you can earn better or become financially independent. During the last 16 years as a lawyer, I have come to realize that the more I engage in further learning about my craft, the more my capacity to become independent increases. And so I agree that the more you learn, indeed, the more you earn. So I urge everybody present in the meeting tonight that you don't have to be somebody who's an expert about something, and you don't even have to earn that much academic degrees to become or to have a higher capacity to earn. But the important thing is never stop learning, whether it's learning how to cook better, or learning how to deal better with people, or learning how to develop your public speaking skills. Definitely, if you do that, the more you learn, the more you earn.
That was wonderful, TM Alan. I remember with your speech, I suddenly remember when I was in elementary, usually there is a poster in every corner of your room, right? And it's in Tagalog where it says, "Ang karunungan ay kayamanan." So when you were delivering your speech, I was suddenly reminded of it. So thank you so much, TM Alan. All right. For the third one, what is the role of technology in shaping the future of investing? Once again, what is the role of technology in shaping the future of investing? I'd like to hear TM Mark because I know that he's really tech savvy. So I'd like to hear his insight about this question. TM Mark, are you open to take the risk for our table topics tonight?
Do I have a choice?
All right. Once again, what is the role of technology in shaping the future of investing?
I remember almost 1 decade ago that I wanted to invest in stock market. It There was this platform that time. It was branded as Sitsec Online, and in order for you to invest or to be part of that platform, Sitsec Online, you needed to go to the Tech building in Ortigas, the PSE, Philippine Stock Exchange building, and then you submit these requirements and everything. Fast forward to today, investing is in your fingertips. Whether in GCash, Maya, on any mobile app, on any website that are registered by the Securities and Exchange Commission, you can do investing. What I learned in investment in using the technology is that as the technology progresses, the method for investing also progresses. And if before there's a minimum requirement of, I think, 5,000 pesos just to invest in a stock market. Now you can invest as low as 50 pesos. And what's important is that it is now reachable. It can be reached by the masses, by many people, by common people here in our country. And I think the other countries also do that kind of investment, that you can invest for a small amount. Fellow Toastmasters, the technology is now in your fingertips. You just need to learn more about investing and finances, and you can do investment using phones, using laptops. Because if you can do Zoom, if you can do Facebook, what more that you can do investments for your money, for your future. Back to you, TM Chris.
Thank you, TM Mark. I think I also witnessed those progression. I'm not saying I'm not that old, but I've I've seen that progression over the years, and it's exciting how in the future what's gonna happen for us on how we will, invest moving forward. And thank you for saying yes to the challenge, TM Mark. And for the last one, I hope TM Jeff, we still have a few minutes left just for the last table topics speaker.
Yes.
Thank you. So for the last question, do you think that financial education in the Philippines should include more lessons about cryptocurrencies with traditional stocks? Any volunteer for our last question? Not yet? None yet? Okay. What about TM Armel? So let me repeat the question. Do you think that financial education in the Philippines should include more lessons about cryptocurrencies along with traditional stocks?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I do believe that financial education should be included in our Philippine education because we need to teach the students on how to deal with the financial situation, not only in our country, but because everything around us includes a financial topic. For example, students should learn the proper use of credit card or how to budget properly because in the future they will use it in their lives. And also, as a person who is into a financial industry, it is hard on our part to educate or to share what financial planning is all about because we are not used to learning it during our high school or college days. And we are lucky because we have many financial advisors around to help us with on how financial education is all about. But sadly, in the Philippines, for example, in myself, whenever I talk or want to share about the financial education, most or some of my friends or other person close to me sometimes get away with me because they do not want to know about it. But truly, it is very important to include in our education system what financial education is all about. It is for the young generation to learn more about the finances. And in the future, they can use it in their actual lives. Let's be practical and teach them how to budget properly, how to save properly, so that in the end, they can be a wise investor and they will not be afraid to take risk. Over to you, Toastmaster Chris.
Thank you, TM Armel. Yeah, I totally agree as well. Thank you so
Agreed.
much. Yeah. All right. So that's the end of our table topic session. But before I leave you and before we head to our prepared speeches, I'd like to leave you something to think about. Um, Investment is not just about money, but also on our self-development and other areas of our life. And in order for us to gain something, we need to take a risk. We need to take that step and we need to take that challenge. And we also need to invest on our learnings so that whatever happens during the the investment, whatever happens, you know that someone or somewhere you can get back to your. All right. Thank you so much to all our table topic speakers. Back to you, TM Rai.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chris. And actually, I'm just holding back. I just want to give everyone an opportunity to speak. I really wanted to participate in our table topics because indeed our topics master gave us very interesting topics for tonight. And now let's proceed to the blue chips, the blue chip stocks. Think of our prepared speeches as our blue chip stocks, the Bitcoin of our meeting. Because they will be delivering carefully researched, developed, and built with or built for long-term impact. A bullish speaker delivers with energy and confidence, while a bearish speaker takes a measured, thoughtful approach. Today, our speakers will show you both sides of that market. Our first prepared speaker for tonight is one of the seasoned member of Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. He will be one of the sponsor of the upcoming club, the San Jose del Monte Toastmasters Club, that will be led by the Dean of the Bulacan State University Sarmiento Campus. He's a very passionate leader, speaker, and a very loving mentor, I can say. His speech, his path is effective coaching. His speech project is level 1.4, evaluation and feedback. The purpose of his speech is to present a speech of any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback received from the first speech. Time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes, and his evaluator for tonight is past area director, is past division director Armel Gutierrez. Ladies and gentlemen, his speech title is Aha Moment. Our speaker for tonight, Toastmaster Oscar Soriano.
In March of 1992, I made my first trip to New York City. And one of my most wonderful experiences there was to take the Staten Island Ferry, which begins at the foot of Manhattan, all the way to Staten Island on the Hudson River. A very beautiful ferry ride. And on the way, I saw this edifice that I only dreamed about in my youth. It was something in green, and you probably know what it is, the Statue of Liberty. I was awed. I was completely blown away, mesmerized, and almost in belief that I was seeing this in person for the very first time. Beautiful. Fast forward to September of 2024, which was just last year. I once again walked the cobblestones of the Statue of Liberty, and every single step I made was an opportunity for me to reminisce about the many happy memories I made there in New York City. I suddenly thought of one happy moment, one single moment that made me cry once more. Fellow Toastmasters and friends, these are two beautiful experiences that are 33 years apart. Which do you think is my aha moment? Merriam-Webster released a set of new words in 2012. These are words like bucket list or game changer and sexting that have earned their place in the lexicon because of their common and popular use. And Webster defined aha moment as a moment of some sudden inspiration, insight, recognition, or comprehension. It's like a light bulb or a bing, bing, bing that makes those little hair in your arm stand up. Oprah Winfrey, of course, you all know Oprah Winfrey popularized this phrase, and she used it almost in every single episode of her show, Oprah. But Oprah emphasized the fact that you cannot have an aha moment unless you already knew it. Let me say that again. Oprah said that you cannot experience an aha moment unless you already knew it. And she said the aha, there in the aha moment, is the remembering of what we already knew and in a way to resonate with our own truth. You get it? The aha moment is not something or somebody or some experience teaching us something new. It is something or somebody or some experiences helping us to remember. My first time in New York City in 1992 was my defining moment. It was a new experience for me that shaped my life, my outlook in life, and how I look at life in general. It changed my perspective about life in general, life around me, my appreciation of family and friends. But my return to New York City in 2024, 33 years apart, was truly my aha moment. Suddenly, I realized that I was traveling alone, by myself, and remembering all the happy moments that I spent with the very love of my life that I just lost. The thoughts of having to thrive and move forward by myself for the most part of the remainder of my life was to me my aha moment. And fellow Toastmasters, we all experience our own happy moments, our own aha moments in our lives. And they come in the simplest of forms, like finding that the price of tomato in the public market has gone down tremendously. That is an aha moment for most people that are in a budget, or for a student solving a complex mathematical concept, or probably perfecting the Rubik Cube. That is an aha moment. Or for some of you that are beauty conscious, buying a moisturizing cream that you always thought would not work, but does wonder to your skin. That is an aha moment. And I believe that aha moments are deeply personal. And they come randomly, unplanned, and at the most unexpected time and place. A childbirth, and Mark experienced this twice, is a defining moment for a couple. But seeing your child teeth grow out of their gums is an aha moment. Or going from crawling to walking, that is for a couple their aha moment. Aha moments are experiences that break the monotony of life. just for a brief moment. And when you experience one, maybe today, tomorrow, or some other place and time, would it be wonderful to share it to others, to friends and family, so that they will get the opportunity of a lifetime to experience their own beautiful, wonderful aha moment? Back to you, Toastmaster Rai.
Actually, I'm expecting more. I'm still listening. I'm still at awe while listening to your wonderful story, Toastmaster Oscar. Thank you once again for sharing a very vivid story of your experience in New York. And I'm looking forward to see you again as you return back to the Philippines.
I'll be back in June, right?
All right. I'll see you then. And let's proceed with our meeting for tonight. Thank you, Toastmaster Oscar. And now for our next prepared speaker for tonight is our resident comedian, the the future Hall of Famer of comedy in the Philippines and Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. And ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is one of our champion humorous speaker. And she is a very powerful leader in our organization, and she has this charming approach to encourage us to renew our membership every every season. And she is a dutiful mother, and she inspires leadership among our members. Speech, her path first is presentation mastery. Her speech is level 5.2, moderate a panel discussion. The purpose of her speech for tonight is to apply her skills as public speaker and leader to facilitate a panel discussion. Her evaluator for tonight is none other than our area director, Toastmaster Sadie Cortez. Her speech will be around 20 to 40 minutes, and her speech title is cyber bullying.
Oh,
Our speaker for tonight, let's join our hands together to welcome on our virtual.
Yeah, I think Toastmaster I got lost. But please do take the stage, Toastmaster Rose, for your wonderful speech.
Thank you so much to our president and to Toastmaster Rai. Here's back. Thank you for the introduction, Toastmaster of the evening, Rai. Ladies and gentlemen, approximately 37% of young people between the ages of 12 and 17 have been bullied online. In the Philippines, we have one of the highest rates of cyberbullying in Asia, with 80% of Filipino youth experiencing some form of cyberbullying. These happen mostly on Instagram, 42%, Facebook, 37%, and Snapchat, 31%. What is cyberbullying? According to UNICEF, cyberbullying is the use of digital technologies. Cyberbullying is bullying with the use of digital technologies. It can take place on social media, messaging platforms, gaming platforms, and mobile phones. It is repeated behavior aimed at scaring, angering, or shaming those who are targeted. Now, there are differences, and let me mention three. The difference between traditional bullying and cyberbullying is one where it happens. In traditional bullying, it needs to happen in a physical location, while cyberbullying can happen whenever you are online. And the second difference, the methods used for traditional bullying, you need to exert physical aggression, verbal insults, and sometimes social exclusions. In cyberbullying, it can be in the form of harassment or doxing. So that is the publishing of private or identifying information. It can be it can be impersonation, spreading rumors, or threats. Lastly, the difference lies on the anonymity. For bullying, you can see them and the bullies are easily identifiable, whereas cyberbullies can hide behind fake profiles. Now that we know what cyberbullying is, let us discuss it with our panelists. Let me introduce them, starting with, he is a government corporate lawyer, a father of a high school child. His home club is Mayon Toastmasters Club, and he is a dual member of Albay Lawyers Toastmasters Club. Let us all welcome our Division I Director, Toastmaster Alan Badiola, PM4.
Hello, good evening, everyone, and thank you for inviting me to your panel discussion, Toastmaster Rose. I'm glad to be here.
Perfect. Our second panelist, she is a licensed midwife, president of an NGO in Marilao, Bulacan, member volunteer of AmeriCares International Humanitarian. She has a degree and master's in psychology. She is a mental health and autism advocate. Our very own clubmate, Toastmaster Liz Venez. Let's welcome her.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure, Tim Rose.
Wonderful. Lastly, he is the executive director of Kalipay Negrense Foundation. It is a nonprofit organization dedicated to transforming the lives of disadvantaged children. He is a former professor at the University of St. LaSalle. He is also a two-time District 75 champion in evaluation and a triathlon. Let us all welcome our immediate past Division D director and our current District 75 Club Extension, distinguished Toastmaster Mel Ciliador.
Yung gabi, everyone. I'm so happy to be able to join you tonight.
Thank you to all our panelists for making it tonight and for accepting my invitation. Wonderful. All right, let's get on with it. The first question that I will ask is, what makes cyberbullying so widespread and seemingly hard to control? And I'd like to ask Toastmaster Mel to start our discussion.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Rose. You actually shared a lot of points earlier in your introduction. Cyberbullying has been so widespread for me because of a combination of three factors. It's a combination of technological, psychological, and societal factors. Technological, you share the statistics. 95% of us have cell phones. And out of that 95%, 90% are using social media every day on a daily basis. And out of that 90%, 80% gets to be subjected to cyberbullying. Number two, the concept of anonymity and the lack of accountability. For some reason, that online environment that allows individuals to engage in aggressive behaviors without able to suffer immediate consequences has initiated that increased confidence on the end of the bully to do cyberbullying. And number three, which I feel is very important and very notable as research would show, societal factor. Apparently, we would notice that there is already what we call normalization of online aggression. For some reason, our daily exposure to toxic online environments has desensitized a lot of us to the impact of cyberbullying. With that, it allows behaviors that are quite similar to being more prevalent than usual. So it's really a combination of a lot of things that brought us to where we are now in a world where cyber bullies are all around.
Yes, thank you so much for that. That's a lot of information to digest as well, Toastmaster Mel. So we do have a lot of factors to consider here. And maybe if one of our panelists can maybe add to that, if you have anything to add, Alan or Liz?
Yes, the Toastmaster Rose. I'd like to add to the statements of Toastmaster Mel that I think one of the greatest factors that cyberbullying is so pervasive is that we're all online all the time. And when we expose ourselves to that environment where people who do not have our best interest at heart and give them an opportunity to, for example, post comments about us and to threaten us in a way that destroys our peace of mind, or probably where we feel that we could be unsafe in terms of our physical safety, emotional safety, and even psychological peace, then that is what contributes a lot to the prevalence of cyberbullying. So in order for us to avoid that, I think it could probably lessen our online exposure.
Right. Thank you for that, Toastmaster Alan. Yes, we just have so many phones, and it's so easy to be online all the time. It has become. I remember the days when you still have to. It still costs a lot more than it does today to connect to the internet. Yes. All right. Moving on. Sorry. Was that Liz? Okay. Liz, you want to add? Or was that you?
No, but I can add something more. I guess what the other guests have said, I agreed with them. But what makes cyberbullying so widespread, and the reason why it's hard to control is because psychologically, the hardest thing to control is the mind and actions of every person. So we cannot control them. And also, lacks of parental guidance, and everyone feels normalizing the non-normal. So that is one of the sickness of our society nowadays. So it's really very hard. So I agree with what the other panelists say. We need to control, and we need to lessen our time using the social media.
Yes, yes, we'll get more details, or we'll ask more ways on how to prevent or avoid cyberbullying. But first, let us make this more relatable to our audience, since we're all Toastmasters here. That means we're all 18 and above. I'd like to ask our panelists, in what situations do adults commonly experience bullying? Anyone would like to start or answer the second question?
Yeah, let me answer that, Rose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Liz, go ahead.
Okay, most situations that our adults like us commonly experience cyberbullying, number one is on our workplace. I guess every one of us have experienced once in our life being bullied at our workplace, from our colleagues, from our bosses, maybe spreading rumors about us or about someone, with our workmates, or bullying us on chat groups or social media, or maybe we experience public shaming over mistakes or flaws in our work, and they cannot forget that. or deliberate exclusions when they were ganging up on you and they excluded you from virtual meetings and isolate you, and also being sarcastic. This is what the number one that we experience, sarcastically comments about our performances, especially in digital forums. It also, can happen in clubs and forums, those cyberbullying. Another one is social media harassments, receiving negative comments, insults, and threats on posts, especially with public profiles, especially if our profiles are everyone can see it. That's why we are also advising everyone to make your profile private and only choose the person who can have an access on your accounts. Also, trolling. This is trolling means deliberately provoking someone with offensive comments. And if you're going to check our FBs, Instagram, and other social apps, the harassments is so widespread nowadays. Especially personal, relational, and politics. But we are not allowed to discuss the politics. Another one is online dating and relationship conflicts. This is also, you can see it on social media. There are a lot of fights, being posted, and shared on social media, like harassment from ex-partners, spreading hurtful messages. They will screenshot it and then, share it on public.
Oh, yes.
Like catfishing, someone pretending to be another person. That's why scammers are a lot nowadays. Doxing, meaning revealing personal info to harass or intimidate, and revenge porn. This is also happening. Revenge porn, sharing the intimate, and not acceptable videos and pictures online. There are a lot nowadays. Another reason is cyberbullying in online communities. Just like what I said earlier, gang up or in group chats or online forums. And also financial cyberbullying, like claiming about financial matters. Like there are one, they were pretending that they are like a American army. They needed, they will let you fall in love with them and then asking for a certain amount of money, or public shaming someone for financial struggles. If they know that this person is poor, they're going to bully them about their situation in life.
Yes.
Another one
that's
is
sad.
cyberbullying in parenting groups. Like, if a child or if their children posting something about their parents, are not providing for their needs. So you're going to read some of the comments of the citizens or netizens about,
Yes.
oh, how bad father he was, how bad mother he is, something like that. That is also cyberbullying. Another one is political or ideological attacks, which is very widespread nowadays between, what was going on in our political
I agree.
arena. There's a lot of bullying in our political area. And also cyberbullying in influencer or public figures' lives. So those are the 8 that I can share that were situations that commonly adults experience in cyberbullying.
Yes, that's a lot. 8 ways. So the bullies are getting creative nowadays
Yeah.
in harassing other people. Can I share or can I ask if anyone from our panelists maybe have experienced any one of these 8 personally, if you would like to share? If you have personally experienced being bullied online?
I can share one with a client before, where reached out to me for counseling regarding this bullying experience on social media, wherein the ex shared on social media about their intimate moment, videos and pictures. So she's facing a lot of a big depression, not a big depression. She faced depression, anxiety, almost didn't eat. So she reached out and asked what she needs to do. So, for a few weeks, few times, we counsel, and I told her what to do, to face or how to stood up for herself. And eventually, after many counseling, she's now doing okay.
That's great to hear, Toastmaster Liz. That's a very sad story about. I just really cannot believe that these things could really happen in the real world. I, it's just too out. It's just out of my head. All right, so I think that covers a lot already. We're going to move on to the next question. All right, and now that we have established that someone is being bullied, let's turn to the effects. Liz has touched on some of this. Could you answer a bit, and then maybe we can ask the other panelists to chip in as well? Toastmaster Liz, what are the effects of being bullied?
What are the effects or impact on the well-being of people, particularly the adults? One is, cyberbullying is often associated with teenagers, but adults are also frequent targets, which is we all know, we are all aware of that. So it can have severe consequences on their first mental. That is the first psychologically, on our physiological effects, mental effects, emotional, social, and even physical well-being. Unlike in childhood where schools may intervene, us being adults, especially if you are professional, there have a fewer structured support system to address cyberbullying. So mostly the effects of it is psychological and emotional. It can be resulted in anxiety and depression, low self-esteem. You question and you doubt your self-capacity, and then feelings of hopelessness. You feel powerless. You look at yourself so little because of all this. And then social withdrawal. On students, on social withdrawal, they tend to, some of them dropped on school because they cannot face the peers, especially the bullies, and also fear and paranoia. So whenever they hear someone talking about a specific topic that triggers them, they thought that those people were referring about them. So this resulted to severe psychological and emotional effect eventually. Another one is professional and career consequences. So if you were, cyber bullied, and everyone read and heard about the threats, the doxing, about their, focusing on your inabilities, on your personal. So it also lessens your ability, or it affect your job loss or career decline or reluctance to engage online. It also resulted, number one is workplace stress and burnout. I hope every one of us, we experience that on our job. And then also, it also affect our social and relationship problems because we are too stressed. So our relationship with our family and friends affected. Those are
I
some.
see. Yes. Thank you, Liz. Now, I'd like to move on. That's also a lot of answers that Liz has mentioned, the effects of bullying in our mental state, and it also affects work. So, maybe will our yes, I was going to ask if you would like to jump in, Toastmaster Mel?
Thank you, Toastmaster Rose. You know, while cyberbullying is overwhelmingly harmful to most individuals, but in reality, it may also generate some unintended positive effects in terms of personal growth, resilience, and advocacy. This could be the toughest test of this generation. For some of us, in the past, resilience was taught in the war that they experienced in the 1940s. For those who were in the 90s, resilience, growth could have been taught because of the economic recession. For this generation, it could be cyberbullying. Through that particular experience, it may unintendedly increase the resilience and emotional strength of an individual. Some victims may develop what we call a mental toughness and to be able to learn how to cope with negativity, making them more resilient in facing future challenges. That that when technology um, that most of our children are exposed to, in a way, has also kept them in a bubble that they did not they do not get to experience exposure and harm outside of the environment of their own house, outside the environment within their computer. So it's that exposure that can also teach them to be resilient and to strengthen their emotional strength. There are darker sides to cyberbullying. My foundation has dedicated itself in rescuing children who are survivors of abuse. I have 112 children in my home. 36 plus of them are victims of abuse. 7 of them are victims of online sexual abuse and exploitation. You won't believe the level of harassment and economic in nature that these children and their parents have been exposed to. Once they started doing it, they can't get out from the practice anymore because they're threatened. And these are kids as young as 2 years old. But in a way, throughout the years, some of our kids who are growing with us eventually gets to understand that to be able to use what their experience to share to others and become advocates of cyberbullying and allow their very own experience to educate others and promote what I call online kindness. So all in all, despite that it's really overwhelmingly negative, in a way, we can also see it that it might also strengthen the individual through its resilience. So it has some unintended positive effects.
Thank you for that, Toastmaster Mel. That's quite an interesting take on our issue tonight. Also, quite heavy issue as well with what you're dealing with. Kudos to you. Thank you for doing what you do for those children. Suddenly, my heart is so heavy right now. Whew. We'll be going to the solutions on how we can protect them and protect those who are being bullied. But first, before we dive into that, I'd like to ask, what are the challenges of the victims that prevents them from acting on a solution? I'd like to ask Toastmaster Alan. It's your turn.
Okay, I believe that the primary reason why the victims are or feel helpless and unable to deal with cyberbullying is that, first of all, they don't know their rights. The basic question that a victim would think about is, what are my rights and were these rights violated? That's first. And second, how can I exercise my rights or protect my rights so that the bully will stop? And third, if I were bullied, then I should know how to seek legal remedy. But those questions are a bit technical in nature, and most victims would feel like they're helpless. So that's one thing that I would imagine which causes victims of cyberbullying to feel helpless and unable to deal with the situation. Okay, probably the other panelists would also like to jump in.
Yes, anyone who would like to answer Toastmaster Alan's call on answering what else could prevent a person from doing something against their bullies? Toastmaster Mel.
You know, unfortunately, in the Philippines, the laws that are there that are supposed to protect us against cyberbullying are relatively new. The Cyberbullying Act has been passed only in 2013, then the cyber libel in 2012. And despite having this legal framework in place, believe it or not, if you go to what we thought are the right agencies of the government to complain about, a lot of them are not also very familiar of the process. In my personal experience, last year, someone was trying to copy my official website for my foundation and was trying to raise money out of using my name. So I went to the National Bureau of Investigation in Bacolod because that's where I'm based. And surprisingly, they don't have the technology to be able to address my concern and problem. I had to fly to Manila to go to two NBI offices, trying to pinpoint the right direction. I ended up in Quezon City, and it's the only facility all over the Philippines that can actually do preliminary investigation from a complaint of cyberbullying. So we are relatively new in this field. It's positive that we have laws that are in place to protect us, but the players involved are still, studying on how to go about it. And at the end, it's a limitation why we don't get to be able to punish or to provide legal consequences to those who are using online to their advantage.
Thank you for that. I think Alan has an answer to your statement. Alan, go ahead.
Yes, Toastmaster Rose. I love that comment by panelist Toastmaster Mel, because he mentions a specific situation where he was involved in, and he describes the difficulty in how to deal with it. From Visayas, he needed to fly all the way to Manila. But there are other ways in which we can deal with cyberbullying. Actually, the general term that we use now is cybercrime. Cyberbullying is a general term wherein we are placed in a situation where we are bullied. But there are specific crimes that are involved for which we can actually file a complaint. But how do we do it? Now, in Toastmaster Mel's experience, he needed to go to Manila and visit the NBI office. Now, even as a lawyer, for me, because I'm not a specialist in cyber crimes, but we have regular trainings as lawyers. And one of the recent trainings I attended was where our speaker for that conference was the anti-cybercrime group of the Philippine National Police. And it was there where I learned that actually in every region, there's a group called Cybercrime Unit, wherein a victim could go to that unit in the region where he or she is in and report the cybercrime. And what the cops do is investigate. And surprisingly, we actually have certain policemen who are trained in the IT aspect of cyber crimes. They can actually
Amazing.
track the whereabouts of the bullies if they are given the chance or the opportunity to investigate. So that's one of the ways that where we can be able to deal with cyberbullying. Back to you,
It's good.
Toastmaster Rose.
Thank you. It's good to know that every region has their own cyber crime unit, and this is under PNP, right? The Philippine National Police. Yes. So but I also have an experience, but I didn't push through it. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Dry laugh from Rose. Okay, we have the time is a bit running out. Let's go through the solutions. We've been discussing it uh, a bit while during the panel, but let's go deeper into the solutions on now that we're bullied, what can we do? We have recognized the roadblocks and we've decided to push through with fighting these bullies. So what can we do? I'd like to ask who would like to start. Toastmaster Alan, yes, go ahead.
Yes, because this is my area now. Because what should victims of cyberbullying do? Well, first of all, remember that if you were bullied online, then you have your rights were violated and probably a crime was committed against you. There are different possible crimes that result from cyberbullying, and one of them is cyber libel, where somebody posts something bad about you. It could be accusing you of something that you didn't do or similar things like that. Now, how do you deal with that? First of all, remember that if you're going to file a complaint, you are now going into the legal aspect of your rights. And the very first thing that you have to remember is that you need evidence to prove that somebody committed a crime against you. And evidence means that you need to have screenshots, you need to know when the posts were made, you need to know who read the posts, you need to know the identity of the perpetrator, because if it's a fictitious account, then you don't practically know who made that libelous remark. Now, that is where the cybercrime group or cybercrime unit of the Philippine National Police can come in. But for your own remedies and things that you could do is, other than documenting it, you also need to have a support group. Remember that you have online, if you have a social media presence, of course you have friends, make sure that you communicate with them because they could be your witnesses who will support your complaint. Now, other than that, of course, if it is very serious, then you need probably to visit a lawyer to help you on the other legal aspects of a potential case that you may file. So those are some of the legal remedies that I would recommend.
Thank you for that, Toastmaster Alan. Hopefully we won't have to go through all of that. And maybe one of the ways that we could reach that is maybe protecting ourselves from cyber bullies. So as a community, as parents, how can we prepare ourselves and our children? What are the steps that we can take to prevent bullying? Can I ask maybe Liz now and then Mel shortly after?
I guess one of the things is make a safe space for the victims of cyberbullying. For example, I have an experience wherein a child was caught being raped by the father. And the father raped 4 daughters, all the 4 daughters, and it was caught and filmed and brought to my attention because I have a students before, and she received that video and then showed it to me and then asked help. Though the children, they were living in a remote place and the mother jobless, they cannot stand on their own. Those children didn't go to school. So they are helpless, powerless. And one of the videos were on the social media. And one of the daughter go to the mother and then tell the mother their fate, what was going on. And the mother just kept silent. So those daughters were helpless because the first person that they were expecting to help them is their mom. So I helped them. The father was caught by a police officers and was detained. And then one of the things that we were able to help the children is do counseling. I guess those victims needs a free space for them to talk freely and feel safe, expressing themselves. Another one is making counseling much affordable, or the government should propose a help for these victims to have a free mental or counseling, emotional and mental counseling, which could be help. Because nowadays, seeking counseling is very expensive here in the Philippines, and no
That
one
is
can
true.
afford. And no one can afford because every 1 hour of counseling ranges from 3,000 pesos and up. And if you were living in a remote area, how can we help, or how can these people, even though they want to face and be healed emotionally with all this trauma, they cannot afford. So all they do is just to keep it inside and then just move forward with their lives. But as they grow, eventually they are affected mentally and psychologically.
Yes, thank you. So we have to create a safe space for the victims. Toastmaster Mel, can I ask you for a way on
Yes,
how we can prevent? Yes.
I will just focus on two. One is really more on prevention, which is for us to advocate to strengthen what I call cyber or digital ethics integrated in our school curriculum. I
Mm-hmm.
always feel that our school curriculum is so outdated, so unresponsive to the needs of the present time. And definitely cyberbullying is something that most individuals, especially in that particular age of individuals who are going to school, are exposed to. With that, people will be able to know what we call responsible online behavior and to be able to respond to cyber bullying better. So that's more on promotion and prevention. And number two, we really need to have stricter implementation of laws. If you remember one thing we shared earlier, one of the factors that make cyberbullying widespread is a concept of anonymity. Cyber bullies are not held accountable for what they do because they remain anonymous. So we need to strictly enforce the laws that are in place. The schools must be able to fully implement the Anti-Bully Act, ensuring that cyber bullies in school, the cases are addressed properly. And of course, the law enforcement agencies, by their policies, by papers, by their talks, wherever they go, they claim that they are equipped. But when you visit them, in actuality, they don't have that technology to handle the complaints of individuals that goes to them for complaints. So with those two in place, I think that's the best that we can do as of the moment. Thanks, TM Rose.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mel. So prevention and stricter implementation of the law. Now, we're out of time, actually. So I'd like to ask, thank you to all our panelists. I think it's a great discussion, even though it's quite a heavy topic. So I'd like to ask our panelists for one round to give their final thoughts on the topic. I can start with Toastmaster Alan, Liz, and then Mel, alphabetical. Toastmaster Alan, final thoughts,
Okay,
please.
thank you. I'm the A in the ABC. So my thought would center on the very first statistics that you mentioned earlier, that 80% of internet or something to 80% of internet users experience cyberbullying. That's a very high incidence of cyberbullying. Now, how could we prevent that or at least reduce? My suggestion would be first to limit your cyber footprint. Only use social media and your internet presence for essential and important matters. So do not indiscriminately get friends that you don't know much about or strangers. Avoid that. And second is protect very zealously your data privacy and personal privacy. Because as long as you don't post too much about yourself, there is not much that anybody, whether your friends or strangers, can do to you to cyber bully you. So back to you, Toastmaster Rose.
Thank you for that. Let's go with Toastmaster Liz. Final thoughts on the topic?
The only thing that I wanted to share,
Toastmaster
or
Liz, can you hear me okay?
yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Is let those victim, when they approach you and try to express their feelings, let us be welcoming. Let's acknowledge them. Let's validate their feeling, because they were approach you because they trust you, and don't limit or don't take away that moment, from them, but let us understand them and validate and help them by listening and not ghosting them. One of the problem or issues that these victims felt is when they opened up, and for us it's just mild issues, but for them it's a big issues. And most of the people, when they open up, they're going to tell to the victim, you're so sensitive, you're oversensitive. It's not going to help. Maybe for us it's oversensitivity, but for them
Tagal mo ng balat,
it's a big thing that
Wala
affects their
namang-
mental and
wala naman
psychological.
tayong
So
kamatis. May kamatis.
let's be open up, let's give them ears to listen.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that. Be kind to the victims. Let's go to Toastmaster Mel. Final thoughts, please.
Yes. In the dark side of the digital world, we can be the light. Every word that we type, every comment that we post, every message that we send holds power. The power to uplift, the power to tear down, to heal, or the power to hurt. The choice is ours. In a world where screens often hide their faces, let's not forget there are hearts behind them. Cyberbullying may be a challenge in our time, but I still believe that kindness, empathy, and courage will always be stronger and timeless. And it starts with each of us choosing to stand up instead of staying silent, to spread light instead of darkness, to use what we do for good. So tonight, fellow Toastmasters, as we leave this room and return to our online spaces, let's make a choice to build a digital world where respect, kindness, and understanding are louder than hate. Because when we choose to be better, we make the internet and the world a better place. So thank you, TM Rose. Thank you, everyone. And let's keep making a difference, one positive post at a time.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mel. You are a light to us here tonight. All right. That was a great discussion. And for me, cyberbullying has become a plague. I myself thought that it would disappear after college, but it didn't, because it spread via the technology. And with this development, so must our awareness and our ability to respond. Let's be proactive, support each other, and build a safer digital world and analog world. And I don't think we can open up for a Q&A anymore because we've used up a lot of time. And with that, I return the control back to our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Rai.
Good evening, everyone. I'm back, and it seems that my connection is having some problem. Before we proceed with the next part of our meeting, I would like to invite everyone to kindly open your camera, or we will be taking pictures before we proceed to the evaluation portion of our meeting. I would like to invite everyone to open your camera. And Mr. President, can you please take a photo?
Or wait. Kindly remove the spotlight. All right. Okay, the count of 3. Please give your best smile. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. I'll return back the control to you. Toastmaster of the
Alright,
evening, TMRI.
I'm just afraid that I might get disconnected. So I need to secure. And as we all know, when we are navigating the world of finance, we have this what we call the finance in the financial world, we have this what we called as the financial analyst. Yeah, that's the right word. So tonight we invite our general evaluator. We will her task, if we are in the financial world, she is our financial analyst, and to lead our evaluation portion for tonight, our general evaluator is the charter president of Speak with Confidence Toastmasters Club. She is the Task Division B Director. She is a Senior Manager, Analytics, IHG Hotels and Resorts. Ladies and gentlemen, our general evaluator for tonight is Distinguished Toastmaster Dolly.
Thank you so much to our handsome Toastmaster of the evening and also a fellow kababayan, Toastmaster Rai. Good evening, everyone, especially to Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. You know that since you are from Bulacan, you are always close to my heart because we come from the same province. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, whether or not you are familiar with stock trading or with cryptocurrency, it's okay because just attending this meeting is already an investment in your end. And what more if you would like to become a member? Because one of the things that makes being a Toastmaster member, the bullish side of it is because we get evaluations from every club meeting that we attend, and especially if we take on roles. So before I proceed in hosting or facilitating this portion, can I just quickly check if we have guests or future Toastmasters in the Zoom meeting?
Yes, have guests. We have.
All right, welcome to our guests. Are you first-time attendees, or you have already attended the Toastmasters meeting?
I think Reynalyn it's her second time.
Second time. All right. So maybe you have already seen how this portion works. So to refresh everyone, an evaluation portion is the unique segment of a Toastmasters meeting because this is where we get feedback constructive feedback, for giving feedback to everyone who took on a role for tonight. So this is unique because you will not see this portion in every other meeting that you're attending, whether at school or at work. And I'm very fortunate that I have with me the excellent pool of evaluators who will really make my job very easy. Now let's start. We will start with the evaluation of the table topics, and to evaluate the table topics master and the rest of the table topic speaker, please help table topic speakers rather. So please help me welcome our table topics evaluator, Toastmaster Nikki Crisostomo.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Dolly. Honestly, I found this role quite challenging since our speakers are all experts in table topics, and I believe I just witnessed the best session I've witnessed as a Toastmaster. But to start off, let me call on Toastmaster Oscar. I love how strong your opening hook was. You started with "Life is a gamble and full of risk," which immediately captured our attention. It's fascinating also how you managed to connect an academic or business topic to life, and your message was clear. It has a call to action at the end. But to further improve your speech, I suggest maintaining eye contact. Instead of looking down at our screens, try looking directly at the camera so your message resonates more with the audience. But overall, it was such a seamless speech, and it was an honor to hear it. Next, Toastmaster Alan, I love how clearly you use the prep method along with the story message gain structure. Your organization made it easy to follow, and your message truly resonated with me as I myself is an aspiring lawyer as well. And one key aspect of table topics is time management, which can be quite challenging. So while your speech was well structured, I suggest keeping an eye on pacing to ensure every part of your message gets the emphasis it deserves within the given time limit. But overall, it was a well crafted and strong speech, and I appreciate how you delivered your story. Next, Toastmaster Mark, I love how knowledgeable your speech was. You didn't just share your speech, you also included an interesting trivia that we could invest for as low as 50 pesos. And I especially appreciate how you connected these ideas to your work as a technology expert, making the speech both engaging and informative. But like Toastmaster Alan, I suggest to focus on time management skills to ensure a balanced distribution of ideas. But overall, it was a well-delivered speech, and your ability to make technical topics relatable is truly impressive. Next, Toastmaster Armel, your speech had the clearest use of the prep method. It has a well-defined thought, type, a point, a strong reason, a relevant example, and a conclusion that tied everything back to your main idea. And this structure made your speech easy to follow. I also love how you included a call to action at the end, emphasizing the importance of teaching kids about financial education. So this added a sense of purpose to your speech, and it made it even more impactful. But to make your message even more memorable, consider incorporating some financial quotes related to education. So perhaps you could use the quote given by Toastmaster Chris earlier about the more you learn, the more you earn. So in this way, you will leave a lasting impact on the audience. But overall, it was a well-structured and full of purpose speech. And now for our table topics master, Toastmaster Chris. Congratulations on successfully leading a table topics session with such a difficult topic. I also appreciate how you provided context in your questions and quotes, like giving a brief background on who Warren Buffett is. So this approach helps speakers gain a better glimpse of the topic, helping them to structure their responses more effectively. But of course, when it comes to REITs, when it comes to real estate investment, the biggest room should always be the room for improvement. So to make our table topic session even more engaging, consider incorporating guidelines or short phrases to help speakers structure the responses more effectively. So for example, if we want to encourage them to use prep method, we can display prompts on the screen like this one. I will just paste it on our comment section. Okay, so by doing this, we can help our speakers not only practice structured speaking, but also develop seamless transitions between their thoughts. But overall, this was such a memorable session. I didn't just evaluate the day, I also learned from our speakers. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster Dolly.
Wow, round of applause for Toastmaster Nikki. I have read in chat that distinguished Toastmaster Mark has mentioned that it is your first time. There's always a first time in our role taking in Toastmasters, and for sure everyone here will agree with me that you did it very well. If DTM Mark did not say that it's your first time, I would have said or would have asked if you have joined the speech contest recently, because you were really very good in how you did your evaluation. So there are two things that stood out. First is you gave us the reason why you're giving the commendation or the recommendation. So for us evaluators, it's a very important ingredient to be ingredient of the evaluation is for us to give the reason why we're citing this commendation or why we are giving this certain recommendation. So kudos on that. Second is you were very succinct in your evaluation, given that you are evaluating a lot of people. So it's really very important to just stick to the important ideas. Perhaps if you have additional evaluations, you can just put it in chat or give it privately to the person. So I love that you just stick to the important aspects of the evaluation, because again, you are evaluating a lot of people. So we have really seen that you just stick to just one commendation and just one recommendation. So good job on that. To elevate your evaluation skills and to perhaps eventually participate in a contest or mentor more Toastmaster members in the future, this is something that I am also guilty of, because sometimes you are not really aware, is for us to minimize the word but in our evaluation, because the rationale here is the example that the trainers would always give us is, for example, you're saying, say, Mark, you are handsome, but I know you don't take a bath every day. So what will Mark remember? That he doesn't take a bath every day, not that he is handsome. So it might be just one word, but it would negate the evaluation. So just be mindful, just be conscious of using the word but. What you can do is to use other phrases, for example, to elevate or to help you on your future speeches, or you can just pause and then use another sentence for your recommendation. Congratulations again on your icebreaker evaluation, Toastmaster Nikki, and would love to see more evaluations from you in the future. Additional recommendations to our table topics master. Let me proceed with the commendations first. I love that you cited the relevance of table topics and you related it to the theme. Sometimes that's what the table topics master will forget, is to let us know, especially the future Toastmaster members, is to let them know the relevance of this. Why do I have to be good in table topics? So thank you for doing that. And also you have guided us with your speech patterns. Some recommendations that you may want to consider in the future is you may want to unshare the slides when someone is speaking, so that the evaluator and the audience can really see the person who is speaking. If we are using a mobile phone, that would really make the person very small. So you may want to consider unsharing the slides. And also you may want to consider calling first the volunteer or voluntold before showing the slide, because the idea of answering or participating in table topics is for us to answer impromptu questions. So that would really make it more impromptu if we will call the volunteer first before showing the question or the slide. Thank you again, Toastmaster Chris, and to your evaluator, and to the rest, and to all the table topic speakers. Round of applause to everyone. All right, now let's go to our evaluations of the prepared speeches. Let's go to the evaluation of Toastmaster Oscar, of Toastmaster Oscar Soriano, and he will be evaluated by past division director, Director Armel Gutierrez.
Thank you so much to our general evaluator. Good evening, Toastmaster Oscar. It is my privilege to evaluate you tonight. Toastmaster Oscar, thank you so much for sharing your aha moment with us tonight. Your speech was a moment of realization and insight on my part. It was so impressive because of the following. First, you shared your personal story and you used descriptive narration that vividly described the places and experiences that helped me as your audience visualize and immerse myself into your story. I also love the speech organization and transition. They were commendable. And second, you gave us thought-provoking question. What is your aha moment? Then you pause for a few seconds, which encouraged me as your audience to think of what is my aha moment? And then you gave us enlightening quote from Oprah Winfrey. You cannot experience aha moment unless you knew it. Now, Toastmaster Oscar, your strengths are the following. First, you are an engaging storyteller. As your audience, you got my 100% attention, and congratulations on that part. And you are also second, a confident and prepared speaker. You spoke confidently and maintained eye contact with your audience. Now, to help you more, Toastmaster Oscar, here are my suggestions. First, I want you to use your time, most of your time in your speech. Remember, you're given 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and yet watch out not to cause overtime. I suggested it to you because your remaining minutes can be used to establish your call to action profoundly, leaving your audience with the challenge to experience and rediscover their respective aha moments. But overall, congratulations, Toastmaster Oscar. You are a confident, engaging storyteller, and you use descriptive words and organize your transition, which helped me as your audience understand and appreciate your story. Keep on inspiring us, Toastmaster Oscar, with your beautiful, inspiring stories. Congratulations. A warm round of applause, please, to Toastmaster Oscar. I would like to return the control to you, our General Evaluator, Director Dali.
Thank you so much. Round of applause to Director Armel and of course to Toastmaster Oscar. Let me reserve the other evaluations later. Let me call on the second evaluator to evaluate Direct Rose's project, the panel moderation. Let's welcome another area director, also a good friend and kababayan, Toastmaster Cedi Cortez.
Thank you so much to our general editor, Toastmaster Dali. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends. Please bear with me. Am I audible?
A bit. Can you try again? Isa pa.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Am I audible? Hello?
Is it okay to the rest of you?
Hello? Okay.
Yeah,
choppy.
Oo.
I will just look for some location.
Sige, you can change location siguro. Or maybe turn off your camera siguro. AD Cedi.
Hello, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends.
Ayun, perfect.
Okay. First and foremost, Direct Dolly, we are not kababayan because I am from Valenzuela.
Oo nga, akala ko lang. Sorry na.
Yeah,
Friend na lang, friend.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends, and good evening to Toastmaster Rose and the rest of our panel discussants who give their glimpse of expertise in terms of cyberbullying. What we have learned tonight is not only about cyberbullying, but it is more of our responsibility as humans to be more kind, as what Toastmaster Mel have said. And with that, I will be more kinder with my evaluation with Toastmaster Rose. First, what I appreciate to Toastmaster Rose panel discussion is relevance. The topic that she chose to be discussed with everyone is about cyberbullying. I know that this is something that everyone knows, but it is still needs to be reiterated because not everyone has the capacity to be progressive about this kind of topic. And I believe it is being reiterated or emphasized in every Toastmasters meeting. Everyone will be able to appreciate the impact of cyberbullying. And I think Toastmaster Rose and the rest of the panel discussants to to discuss the elephant in the room. Second, what I appreciate to the panel discussion is Toastmaster Rose made the discussion worthwhile of our time worth of our time because she chose experts in terms of this topic. She This kind of discussion is not a mediocre type because she chose those people who are credible enough to discuss about this topic and were able to share insights that will made us that will shape our mindset about this topic. Third, what I appreciate to the panel discussion is the series of questions. I mean the series of the panel discussion. The series of the panel discussion is more of a more of a cause, effect, and then it is followed by the resolutions or what are the solutions that we could make for us to be um, progressive online users in the social media. Now, Toastmaster Rose, as I said, that I will be more kinder with your evaluation. Here is just a single type, I will just give two evaluations on your panel discussion. First is, I know that this kind of panel discussions um, only involves conversations with the experts, but you could also include those people who ask questions through our chat and at the same time ask some questions to our fellow Toastmasters because I believe they also experience the same. Second, even though this is just a panel discussion, as I appreciated that you provided statistics with your panel discussion in your introduction, you may still have provided a presentation, especially when you are giving figures. And then you have to put the reference or the source so that it will be appeared as more credible and substantial. But all in all, Toastmaster Rose, thank you so much for giving for giving this kind of conversation. And as Toastmasters, we are not only responsible to be inspiring speakers, but also to advocate for some causes that we believe in. And I am really inspired with that. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Rose and the rest of the panel discussants. Back to you, Direct Dali, our general evaluator.
Thank you so much to the adopted son of Bulacan. I forgot that you are not from Bulacan. Ayun. So, thank you to our two evaluators. You did very an arduous task for tonight. Director Armel having multiple tasks, and also Director Sedi listening to a 40-minute speech or project, and you have to really listen because you will be the one evaluating. So thank you for giving comprehensive evaluations that would really help on the progress of Toastmasters, Oscar, and Rose. Some recommendations to our evaluators. Just make sure that you include in your evaluations if the purpose of the project or the speech is met, because that's also one requirement for the evaluators. Additional recommendation for Toastmaster Rose. I'm not sure in chat, I was not able to follow if I know you were out of time, so we're not able to address the questions posted in chat. Maybe just make sure you were able to answer, or maybe you can tell them that you will answer them offline, because they were all good questions that were thrown earlier in chat. So thank you, Director Rose. I think this is the last project for level 5, no? So you will be
Yes, I'll do my
proficient in level
graduation
5.
speech.
Congratulations. So yung last speech na lang, yung parang graduation speech. And all the best also to you, Toastmaster or Oscar, in finishing your level. Now let's go to our hardworking tag team or technical evaluators. Let me call on first our language evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Mark Edrado.
Hello, everyone. Once again, good evening, and I am your language evaluator. So I will be reporting, or I'll be telling you the bullish and the bearish parts of this meeting as your language evaluator. First, do you still recall our theme 2 meetings ago about Fibonacci? Now, I'll be applying the Fibonacci because for the word of the day, for the purpose for the benefit of our guests, Fibonacci is the sequence in mathematics that starts with 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. So Fibonacci. So for the word of the night, or technical term of the night, REITs, there was only one who mentioned the word REITs throughout the meeting, and it was Toastmaster Nikki. Now, let's proceed with the bullish part. Bullish part, as I mentioned earlier, this is the quotable quotes or the gems in our meetings. And I have filtered 3 bullish quotes. From Toastmaster Oscar, he mentioned risk is a gamble, life is a gamble, and life is about taking risks. And second, he reiterated Oprah's quotation. You can't experience a aha moment unless you do it. And then third, from Toastmaster Mel, he mentioned, in the dark side of the internet world, let's be the light. So those are the bullish world of gems in our meeting tonight. And then for the bearish part, the germs or the grammatical lapses, I had filtered 5. I noticed that somebody mentioned one of the seasoned member, and the other one of the daughter. So if you are saying one of the, it should be followed by a plural. One of the seasoned members, one of the daughters. Second, I took note of a double comparison. I heard somebody said more kinder. It should have been kinder. Number 3, when you deliver or when you're stating a name of a person, make sure of the pronunciation. For example, earlier I heard somebody said Warren Buffett instead of Warren Buffett. Actually, it was double T in the end. So it should be Warren Buffett. And then number 4, I heard somebody said, return back to the Philippines. So it should have been return to the Philippines. And then finally, for those who thinks, those is the subject, or and then it should be followed by a plural form of the verb, which is think. So for those who think. So that is my speech about language evaluation for tonight's meeting. I turn the control back to our chair evaluator, Toastmaster Dolly.
Wow, comprehensive evaluation as well, distinguished Toastmaster Mark. Now let's call our counter and motion evaluator. I'm very curious to know what your role is. Let's welcome Toastmaster Marley Biran.
Yes, good evening, our General Evaluator Dali, TM Dali, and for everybody. My role as the and motion counter is to keep track of the things that reduces the effectiveness of the speech. In other words, there may be substance, there may be powerful and impactful delivery, but there are things that reduces it from being impeccable speech. And let me share to you my screen.
Mas mayaman pa si Gretchen Barreto kaysa kay Manny Pacquiao? Yan ang sasagutin natin ngayon. Dahil alam mo bang si Gretchen Barreto ay hindi lang basta sosyal. Isa rin siya sa mga pinakamayamang.
Yes, this is my counter report. Yes, are overlong pauses, filler words, repeated words, and motion. Yes, for the benefit of people, I would like to congratulate that. I would like to say that there are some Toastmasters who did not, who have not committed mistakes in or all of these. Yes, and yes, there is one person who is likely to commit a lot of and it is the table topics master because her exposure is longer than the rest. And I have noted that yes, I have noted that there were a lot of repeated words. Yes, we still have the habit of repeated words. And like the Toastmaster of the evening, deliver, vivid, something like that. Yes, and we still have the tendency to say, and from the reminder said twice. The table topics participants committed minimal. Toastmaster Alan, of course, you know what the table topics speaker you are. And table topic number 1, speaker Oscar, just committed 1A. And yes, table topics speaker committed only 1. And table topics speaker number 3 committed just 1, except that he said, bye. Yes, I am also amazed that preferred speaker number 1 did not commit anything that violates the germs of the speeches. Preferred speaker number 2, as you can see, committed 4 as and the repeated words. Yes, yes. Panelist number 1 and up to 3, I also counted their as, and this comes in this order. Number 1 committed 6, 8, and then panelist number 3 committed only 1 ah. And of course, panelist number 2 repeated words. Disposition or predisposition, still a habit that do away with, and panelist number 1 is 2, and yes, they are the little germs, and prepared speech evaluation did not commit anything, and the second prepared speech evaluator made it for us, and so that was it. What will be my suggestion? Yes, what will be my suggestion? If you are very passionate about certain topic, chances are you may be saying a lot and you could not help. But over the time, you may come to the point that when you say it repeatedly, an invisible outline is coming to your mind, like you are updating a certain outline. Yes. So, yes, we can continue to deliver good speeches. There will be no question on substance and delivery, but we have to avoid all of these little things. Yes, little things, because some people have short attention span, and they may affect the activity of your speech. All in all, the speakers did well. My suggestion: continue practicing your speech. The more you are processing at the back of your mind, there will come a time when your speech will be impeccable and effective. I turn the control back to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mark. Also, an impeccable, to use your word, to borrow your word, an impeccable evaluation. I've been meaning to disagree with your technique that you did not put the names. But while you were discussing your report, then I got the rationale, and perhaps I can also suggest it to my club. Because like you said, you know who, if I am table topic speaker number 1, then I should know that I was the one that you were referring to. So yeah, anonymity in your report is also a good way of presenting it. So kudos to that learning that I got from you. Next, but just also be mindful to also check on the GE. I know I have a lot of repeated words and filler words as well. All right, now let's go to our hardworking timer. So let's hear his report from our president and champion speaker, President Jeff Robles.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dolly. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As your time evaluator tonight, my role is to monitor the time of each segment and within the prescribed limits. So, because just like in investing, timing matters too in public speaking. So, as my report, for the table topic speakers, all are within time. For the prepared speeches, TM Rose is over time, 46 minutes and 20 seconds. TM Oscar is within time, 7 minutes and 1 second. For the evaluations, TM Nikki is under time, 4 minutes and 28 seconds. Derek Sedi, 4 minutes and 15 seconds over time. Distinguished Toastmaster Mark, 3 minutes and 31 seconds over time. And Toastmaster Mar, 6 minutes and 43 seconds over time. So that's it, my timers report. So I hope everyone will take their time to time their treats. So for those who are under and over time, make sure you get better on the next rounds. And for the For those who are on time, you are the bullish winners, and congratulations. I will return the control back to you, Toastmaster Dali.
Thank you so much, President. Just make sure you are not overtime in your speech during the runoffs. All the best to you. Now let's go to the evaluation of the meeting proceedings plus our Toastmaster of the evening. I love how diligent and smart and resourceful and creative, all the adjectives, no, your vice president for education is. Remember when we were on our trip to La Union, I've already been complimenting, like, you have your newsletter, you have your very information-packed agenda. So when I received that newsletter, I immediately showed it to my club mates in IHG, so that something that we can consider to copy, because it would really boost the morale of the members when we see all those information. So kudos to that impressive newsletter and agenda. Also, you have your slides as intro while waiting for the guests and for the role takers to dial in. And also, you also have that short video, which I also showed to my club mates, something that we can also copy to our club. I was anticipating that it could be difficult for the Toastmaster of the evening to connect the theme to Toastmaster, but great job, Toastmaster Rai. Every step of the way, every portion of the meeting, you were able to connect it to Toastmasters, because at first glance, it will appear that there's really no connection. But then again, you were very clever in injecting how the stock market, how investment and all those things can be connected to Toastmasters. I also love how you have created the culture where you have the personalized introduction to every role taker. For example, the concert queen, the comedian, something like that. So congratulations, Toastmaster Rai, and congratulations, Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. You're really one of the role models of a community club in district, not only in Division A, but in District 75. Some recommendations that you may want to consider: since you're playing slides in your intro, you might also want to consider greeting guests at the beginning while we are dialing in. For me, it's okay because we are acquainted, but for those, if you have guests, they might be wondering what's happening when they dial in. So just make sure they're being greeted, either you unmute or through chat. And maybe just give us the basic information on maybe it's just me because I'm not really familiar with stocks and trading. Perhaps you can give us the basic information, what bullish, bearish, and blue chip are all about. I was able to Google them, and by context clues, we can really get it from how the Toastmaster of the evening was using them. But perhaps you can give us basic information, something that you can also use as we can also get as takeaway from this team meeting. Thank you again, Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. It's an honor to be here, and I've really learned a lot. I might also want to consider investing even just in GCash. So please continue always raising the bar, and please continue serving as a role model to the rest of the community clubs in District 75. Truly nakakainggit kayo. Really, being a member of also a community club, nakakainggit talaga kayo. So please keep up the good work and see you on future events, especially at the DESCON. Thank you, and I'm returning the control to our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Rai.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dali, for joining us this evening. I'm just changing the device that I'm using because my Wi-Fi is having some problem. I'm now using my data connection. And indeed, it is a very exciting evening. I tried my best because I really want to pump up the meeting. And I hope everyone enjoys our meeting for tonight. And as we wrap up our bullish or bearish meeting, remember this, that the stock market may be unpredictable, but your growth doesn't have to be. Whether you're riding the bullish wave of confidence or navigating the bearish moments of doubt, the smartest investment you can make is in yourself. So here's the truth. Stock may rise, crypto may crash, but the skills you develop here will always pay the highest dividends. So invest your 3,600 wisely. So I challenge you, when opportunity comes to speak, step forward, invest in your growth. Ask yourself, are you ready to go bullish on you? That concludes our meeting for tonight. I now pass the baton to our Vice President for Education for our business side of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rai and Toastmaster Dolly, for facilitating the entire proceedings of our meeting tonight. To our prepared speakers, you may now send your digital evaluation forms to your assigned evaluators. To the evaluators, you may now complete and send the digital evaluation form to your assigned speakers. Prepared speakers, please mark your speech projects as completed right after this meeting. As of March 24, 2025, the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club has achieved perfect 10 DCP goals for the current term. In line with this, the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club attained 28 education awards from different members. This in turn garnered our current term 2024 to 2025 the highest number of educational awards for the past 15 years. Congratulations, Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. This is our list of our target level completers before the current Toastmaster term ends. The Meycauayan Toastmasters Club has a roadmap for progress for our members. This is the list of our target DTMs for the rest of the decade, in time for the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club's 40th anniversary in 2031. The District 75 Convention will be held on April 27 to 25 to 27 at Savoy Hotel Mactan, Newtown in Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu. This will involve different learning sessions and seminars, network opportunities, parties, and the anticipated district-level speech contests. Visit the Toastmasters District 75 Conference official Facebook page for more details. The 28-day book writing online course is now available. It contains online lecture videos that you may access 24/7. There will also be group coaching sessions once a month and unlimited individual email coaching for 1 year. To those who are interested to unleash the book author in you through the 28-day book writing online course, feel free to approach me. Let us all congratulate our President, Mr. Jeff Robles, and our First Lady, Mrs. Maida Robles, on their wedding last week. From the heart of Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, go forth and multiply. Congratulations. Our next educational meeting will be on April 8, 2025 at 7 p.m. The theme will be, is it cake or deep fake? As we will know what deep fake is and how it is being used for the bittersweet reality of this information. This will be hosted by Toastmaster Rose as our Toastmaster for that evening. Our next WMS will be on April 2 at 2 p.m. via Zoom. The weekend mentoring session is open to Meycauayan Toastmasters Club members. Ihanda ang mga sarili at ang mga talumpati sa darating na club level patimpalak sa wikang Filipino. 4 na kategorya ang ating paglalaban sa nasabing patimpalak. Ito ay paghahanda at pagsasanay sa maaaring dumating na interclub patimpalak sa wikang Filipino sa Agosto. Gaganapin ang ating club level patimpalak sa Hunyo ng taong kasalukuyan. Sa mga nagpapasya pang sumali, mangyari na ipag-ugnayan lamang sa inyong lingkod. Brace yourselves, Brace yourselves for the upcoming themes this 2025. Start researching about these themes. To our viewers on our social media platform, we invite you to join us to our regular educational meeting every second and fourth Tuesday of the month at 7 to 9:30 p.m. This is done online via Zoom. Admission is free, and follow us on our social media accounts. And for more personal and professional lessons about communication and leadership, download the previous issues of The Toast, the official e-newsletter of Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. Download it for free by scanning the QR code at your screen. Finance is a vital area of our lives today. We earn, we spend, we save, we invest. In our current civilization, there are different means for financial investments. And in investing, you need to have your heart ready for any outcome. While you invest our money for our future, also invest your time and your money for new knowledge and new wisdom, because this life is a never-ending cycle of learning, unlearning, and relearning. Fellow Toastmasters, see you next meeting. I am your Vice President for Education, Mark Entrada, and this is the family that rises and leads with competence and confidence. This is Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. Back to you, President Jeff.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Mark, for that energetic news and announcements. Now, our meeting tonight was an exciting and insightful. So from bullish confidence to cautious reflections, tonight's team reminded us that whether investing or in life, it's all about strategy, timing, and knowing when to take leap or hold back. So thank you, everyone. And I would like to take this opportunity to have my sincere apologies that I cannot represent our club on the district runoff, since it has a conflict in my schedule, which I have booked already my flight since last year, because I don't know if I will win this year, but I'm very sorry that I cannot represent our club. But I hope you will support our district convention this April. Together with our officers, they will be coming to Cebu. So if you have questions in registration, just ask your officers or your fellow members, and then they will glad to help you. If you can give me a few minutes to share this, actually I prepared some topics, or what they call some informations that I can share about our theme tonight. Let me share for about give me 2 minutes maybe. So can you see my slide? Okay. So for their theme today is bullish or bearish. So with I showed you the cash flow generator. It's you can do it like do a bigger circle, small circle, whatever that contributes to your cash flow. Maybe it's your salary, your rental properties, fixed income, businesses, side hustles, investment portfolios, or wild bets. It depends on you. What would you encircle bigger? So right now it's just an example here. So whether you're getting a cash flow bigger through your salary, I hope you keep your money and diversify. Like do invest in businesses, fixed income like Pag-ibig MP2, what else? Corporate bonds. What else? If you can share to our GC, you could share also. We can have an in-depth discussion of the cash flow generator and other financial literacy topics through our weekend mentoring sessions. Let's just schedule it with our distinguished Toastmaster Mark for the investment portfolio, the stock trading, cryptocurrencies, index, commodities trading. We can also discuss it. Maybe I could also share the smart money readiness checklist. Before you trade or invest, make sure that you have set aside emergency funds for unexpected situations. It's either 6 months. I suggest at least 6 months of emergency funds. That's a monthly expenses that you make, that you have to set aside before you do business or do invest or trade. Next is, are you currently managing any existing loans or debts? You have to take note of this when you are doing business or trading. Next is, do you feel the need to earn income consistently? Because when you are trading, you tend to buy and sell fast, or you're like, just Toastmaster Rai said earlier, you do day trading instead of investing, which is more on long term. So you need to know when you need to earn income consistently, or you have this emergency funds. Next is, in case of financial loss, do you have a backup plan or safety net? Next is, do you have dependents who rely on you financially? Next is, do you plan on major purchases in the near future? House and lot, let's say wedding, anything else? And the next is, do you have other ongoing financial responsibilities or commitments? Do you provide to your extended family for their medications, etc.? And next is, are you protected by insurance, health, life insurance, or assets? If you need insurance, just call our financial advisor, Toastmaster Armel, and I'm sure she can help you. And I think that's all for the smart money readiness checklist. So if you have questions for last thing, just give me 1 minute for the top brokers. So Toastmaster Mark said the top you can invest as low as 50 pesos using GCash. I I cannot recall because I haven't tried GCash, because as long as I remember, when I've opened my trading account, it needs I think a tax identification number, for because you when you have a TIN, you will be taxed by your capital gains. So I think if you have TIN, Nikki, but I'm sure everyone else has already their TIN. So for the rank one, it's CLSA, UBS Securities. I think these are big trading platforms, but for I think that one we use is the Call Financial, and the GCash is partnered with I think AB Capital. So your banks have also trading platforms. You can ask them. BPI, Metro Bank, BDO, they have their own trading brokers. So that's it, I think. For the market hours and events, you can just search it through Google. And for the market opening of the PSE, Philippine Stock Exchange, the pre-opening is 9 a.m. and the market, or the market started to fluctuate the prices. You can see if you have a ticker. Ticker is like a tape. When you see San Miguel, SMC, Ayala, SM, there's the prices. So 9:30 it will start to fluctuates, and then it will close by 3:15 p.m. So you can check the pse.com.ph for any stock trading information that you may need. Okay, so that's it for the short orientation for our theme for tonight. So I hope you have learned something valuable tonight. And if you have any more questions, we can set up a WMS for additional discussions. All right. So thank you everyone for joining our meeting tonight. I think, is Reynalyn still here? Can we still have some comments about our meeting, Miss Reynalyn? Yeah, I think Miss Reynalyn is not here anymore. But thank you everyone again for joining our meeting.
Oh, Tita Lip,
Uh,
Tita Lip, do you want to see
yeah,
something?
Tita Lip, do you want
Okay,
to say
just
something?
something. We really have a big night tonight. Glad to be here with you guys.
We miss you, Tita Lip.
And Betchay as well.
Hi, Betchay. Thank you for gracing our meeting tonight. So we will have our team building. We're planning a team building this April or May, and we'll have to get back to you when we finish or finalize the schedule. So thank you for all our role takers, speakers, and evaluators. To our Toastmasters family, let's continue building not just our financial quotient, but our leadership and communication portfolio. So by the trust vested in me by Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, I now officially adjourn this meeting. Thank you and good night.
Night.
Oh, thank you. Good night, people.
Oh.